Why buying a home always pays off in the long run. See, renting can feel much less expensive and simpler than buying a home, especially right now. No repairs, no property taxes, no worrying about mortgage rates. You just pay the bill and move on with your life. But here's the part that people don't talk about. Renting never helps you build your financial future. Meanwhile, homeowners grow their net worth just by owning a home. So if you've been thinking about buying a home, maybe now's the time. So let's jump into how the costs really compare. Now, I'm going to break down several key differences between renting and buying. When you rent, your payment goes directly to your landlord, and then it's gone. When you own, part of your payment comes back to you in the form of equity. This is the wealth you build as the value of your home increases and as you pay down your home loan. So while renting may seem affordable now, you have to remember it comes at the long-term cost of you're not building any wealth. And it turns out that's a bigger miss than you may even expect. Now, First American recently analyzed the long-term financial impact of renting versus owning a home. They compared mortgage rates, payments, property tax, insurance, maintenance against equity gained through home price appreciation and paying down the mortgage. And they did this over a time period of number of years, so they wanted to see if it told a consistent story. So they did it in 2006. They looked at 2006 numbers, the start of the housing bubble, 2015, 10 years ago, 2019, just before the pandemic, which were the really last normal years in the market, and 2022 when the mortgage rates jumped. In each time frame, two things were true. Renters ended up losing money over time while homeowners gained money. Now, I'll show you this actual graph here. You can take a look at some data. You can see where this plays out. Each color represents one of the key time frames. The solid line showed a buyer's investment over time and how their net worth actually grew the longer they lived in the home. The dashed line represents the renter's investment. In the end, they sank more and more cash into renting without any financial gain. The takeaway is simple. Time in a home builds wealth. Time renting doesn't. So basically, homeowners come out ahead. And the analysis shows that even after you factor in other expenses like insurance, repairs, property taxes. On the flip side, renters spend money on their rent, but they didn't gain any long-term financial benefit. Now, that doesn't mean buying always beats renting in the short term. But the longer you own, the wider the wealth gap becomes. You may be thinking, okay, but buying feels out of reach for me right now. Fair. The past few years have not been easy for buyers. Things have started to shift though. Mortgage rates have come down, home prices are beginning to soften, and incomes have been slightly rising. According to Zillow, typical monthly payments have got a little easier compared to this time just last year. Not by a lot, but enough to make a difference. So, no, buying isn't suddenly easy, but it's easier than it was just a few months ago. And in the long run, history shows it's worth it. So even though renting may feel less expensive today, owning is what builds real wealth over time. And for some of you, it's maybe you already own your home, but maybe it's time to invest in another property, a rental property. So you're gaining equity on two pieces of property and building more wealth. If you're curious what buying could look like for you, whether it's your first home, whether it's another home, connect with me. Give me a call, 910-233-2511. Send me a text message.